if you look at public health during that 50-year term, when he came into office, about 6% of Americans had chronic disease. And by chronic disease, I mean not only obesity, but neurological diseases, allergic diseases, and autoimmune diseases, 6%. By 1986, he came in 68. By 1986, 11.8% of Americans had chronic disease, of children had chronic disease. And by 2006, that number had risen to 64%. So that's his track record, And what he claims is that he's protecting Americans from infectious disease. But he rarely talks about the impact of chronic disease, which is much more devastating than infectious disease. And then the question is, the vaccine schedule during that period went from the 3 vaccines that I took when I was a kid and I was fully compliant to 72 doses that are mandated today of 16 vaccines. And the question is, has that made Americans healthier? In 2000, CDC did a study with the Johns Hopkins University. The principal author of it is called Guyer, Guyer. And they looked at this question. Did vaccines have anything to do with the decline in mortalities from infectious diseases, with this momentous decline, about a 70 or 80% decline in mortality from infectious diseases between 1900 and the present? And the question is, did vaccines have anything to do with that? And the CDC study found that the vaccines had almost nothing to do with it. Instead of physicians and scientists who were responsible for that reduction, it had been engineers. It was greater sanitation, the roads that brought food like oranges and citrus to northern cities, better nutrition, better sewage treatment plant, and chlorination of water, and a number of other kind of engineering advances that were really responsible for the decline in deaths and mortalities from infectious disease. And now that doesn't mean that vaccines did not reduce the occurrence of infectious disease. A measles vaccine can stop you from getting measles, at least when you're a child. But it isn't making you healthier. It isn't making you more likely to live a long and healthy life. And that question is a question that Anthony Fauci has never answered. But there's a lot of evidence that that vaccine is not likely to give you an extended life. In fact, it's likely to shorten your life and make it less enriching and you a less effective human being.